Did you do a project in school that you kept or wished you had kept? Two projects I would like to have kept are a research assignment on an African animal in grade 5 and a mystery I wrote and read to an elementary class in grade 10. If I had kept these two things in a student portfolio, they would be called artifacts. The research assignment would most likely have been placed in a product portfolio and the mystery in a process portfolio. In a straightforward, all-in-one page resource, I noticed the question, can I do portfolios without all the fuss? I think this is the best place to start because it has 4 small, manageable steps based on the essential portfolio process: collect, select, reflect. Step 1. Establish purpose of portfolio and criteria for its artifacts. Responsibilities are clear, the number of artifacts are balanced, and form is apparent. Step 2. Periodically have students collect an artifact and complete a reflection. Step 3. Store artifacts with reflection. Step 4. Near the end of the course, students select and reflect again. Your modest experience will be sufficient to make an informed answer to the driving question, are portfolios worth the effort? Now it is your turn to complete your own reflection. Educators are finding that portfolios are worthwhile because they develop many self-assessment skills critical to learning. It is only through feedback that we can plan and execute learning activities. Assessment for learning opportunities abound in the portfolio process of collection, selection, and reflection. If you found that portfolios are not worth the effort, please be open to another experiment in a different class or with a different age group. The first definition of portfolio in a dictionary is usually a flat, portable case for carrying loose papers, drawings, etc., followed by art, financial, and government portfolio definitions. There is no mention of professional or student portfolios. I wanted to trace the origins of the student portfolio movement, expecting to find a migration from art portfolios. After reading Julie Ullman's thesis, Why Portfolios, though, I am convinced that portfolios fill a need recognized by educators since public schools began. Guess who said this and when? School is established, not in order that it should be convenient for the children to study, but that the teachers should be able to teach in comfort. The children's conversation, motion, and merriment, which are their necessary conditions of study, are not convenient for the teacher, and so, in the schools, which are built on the plan of prisons, questions, conversation, and motion are prohibited. This was written by Leo Tolstoy in the 1860s. Are you familiar with the work of Donald Graves? He adds this to the why of portfolio in the late 1990s. The history of student involvement in evaluation is a bleak one. Traditionally, students work, they pass in their papers, and teachers make the qualitative judgments while students wait anxiously for their grades from the teacher. With each successive year from kindergarten through high school, students participate less and less in evaluating their own work. I find this definition from my Wilkie's Assessment Course text by Macmillan to be a good introduction to the 2 primary portfolio orientations. In education, a portfolio can be defined as a purposeful, systematic process of collecting and evaluating student products to document progress toward the attainment of learning outcomes or show evidence that a learning outcome has been achieved. A process-oriented portfolio documents growth. The artifact tells the story of the beginning, middle, and end of the learning journey. A process-oriented portfolio is a record of how understanding and skills have evolved and can be an inspirational departure point for setting learning goals. A product-oriented portfolio is a showcase. The artifacts here are the best final products. They are chosen for their quality and range of understanding and skills. Note, both types of portfolios focus on self-development rather than comparison to others. Some advantages are portfolios easily accommodate individual differences among students even though the overall learning outcomes are the same. They can show unique capabilities and accomplishments, and motivation is enhanced as students see the link between their efforts and accomplishments and as they exert greater control over their learning. The portfolio process works because it gives students choice, opportunities, encouragement, support, and feedback. If you decide to expand your portfolio experience, a recommended fifth step is performance. There is no need to revisit Graves' comment to understand that student work is rarely seen by anyone except the teacher. Portfolios can be shared with other students and parents. Both process and product portfolios engage and educate parents. Dewey might push it further and suggest that outside evaluators be used. From the standpoint of the child, the great waste in the school comes from his inability to utilize the experience he gets outside the school in any complete and free way within the school itself, while, on the other hand, he is unable to apply in daily life what he is learning at school. That is the isolation of school. It's isolation from daily life. If you expand to performance, this would be part of step 1, so the student would know who they would be presenting to and how much of the portfolio would be shared. Also, the student would be aware if the purpose of the presentation was a celebration or a critique. External critiques can give the process validity, involve the community, and raise the stakes so students focus on quality. Be cautious about selecting critique as the purpose for the performance. While it can tear down classroom walls, it can also tear up self-esteem. McMillan writes, one of the most challenging aspects of using portfolios is getting students to the point where they are comfortable, confident, and accurate in analyzing and criticizing their own work. If your students are not at this point, a celebratory performance shares many of the same advantages as the critique performance. Beyond student benefits, there are potential benefits here for teachers. Teachers who keep a portfolio are practicing reflection and may have a bigger toolbox of evaluated methods and strategies. Also, if student portfolios are a multi-teacher activity, portfolio discussions will inevitably include not only how to evaluate student work, but the nature of the work that is going on in a particular classroom and strategies to get students to do better work. As student and teachers collect, select, and reflect, I believe they are learning to learn. There is evidence that portfolios provide the opportunity to construct inner meaning, measure self-change and self-development, build competence, take risks, and practice self-regulation, goal orientation, and sharing behavior. I hope this presentation inspires you to find your own answer to the driving question, are portfolios worth the effort?